Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum Assalam, Abdullah.
Uh, Alhamdulillah, how are you? How are you, Mr. Aladdin and Mr. Umar?
كيف حالك؟ الحمد لله.
So, okay, shall I start?
Yes.
Okay,
Wait, Umar is coming now.
okay, okay, okay.
Bismillah. Hello, Abdullah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, fine.
Alhamdulillah. So, shall we start?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, yesterday I provided you with the user IDs and the instance. So, you can basically log in into the system and just check the working and each and everything. So also, okay, I've also recorded the video of the yesterday's meeting. Sahi. So I will be providing you with the meeting recording. So you can basically use the system by logging into the login by your IDs, and similarly that recording of the session will help you for the reference. Like if you want to know anything, so you can refer to that video. Sahi, I will provide you after this meeting by email. Okay, so let's come back to this ERP. And yesterday we talked about the local buying cycle. Okay, how you create first of all purchase material request or purchase request. Then we created request for quotation for multiple suppliers. After that, we have the supplier quotation uh, from different suppliers by providing different rates. For example, we used the example of Mahmood and Abu Mehdi. They were two different suppliers that provided me with the supplier rates. Sahi. Then after that, we did some manual comparison between the two quotations. Okay, we see the report. We saw the report for Abu Mehdi and Mahmood about the manual comparison of different rates between the two suppliers. Sahi. After that, we created the purchase order by identifying who was my suitable supplier. Sahi. So we created the purchase order for this Mahmood, and you see its status is now remaining as to receive and bill. Means this purchase order receiving and the billing part is remaining. These are some of the statuses. Like if I talk about on this purchase order, you see this status filter here. Sahi. So these are some of different filters on these purchase orders. For example, draft means the document is in draft state. You can make up any changes, do any additions, do any removals, edit the prices, edit the quantities. You can do in the draft state. Say once it is submitted, then you cannot do it. If that is on hold, for example, you are basically negotiating with the client with the supplier, so you can put this on hold. To receive and bill means okay, you have created the purchase order, but no receiving and no billing has been done. One more thing, let me add one thing for you quickly. So these things. Say to you see कि my Mahmood is standing in to receive and bill. And you see this percentage billed column, percentage received column. This will show you the basically in the percentage कि how much billing has been done and how much receiving has been done. For example, if you see this last one, Abu Mehdi, it is standing in completed state. Sahi? कि this document is completed. Means कि this has been 100% billed and this has been 100% received. So this purchase cycle has been completed. The purchase order has been received completely and billed and paid completely. But if I talk about this Mahmood, which we created yesterday, this is standing in to receive and bill. Means कि 0% has been billed and 0% has been received. Yani no working has been done on this purchase order. Say, and similarly, then we have to bill. To bill means कि we have received the items, but we have not done the billing. And similarly, to receive means we did the advance payment first. Like for example, we paid in advance, we did the invoicing or billing part, but the receiving of the items is remaining. Completed means this document has been completed. Cancelled means this document has been cancelled and you do not want to continue, or this has been just cancelled. Closed means you are not working on it more anymore and you just want to close this document so this transaction cannot be carried forward. Say, so these were some of the, and this delivered is basically related with purchase and sales order, so this delivered is related to it. So these are some of the purchase order statuses. Sahi, this works same on the local buying and on the foreign or the import cycle. But right now we are just discussing about the local buying. Inshallah, let's complete this local buying today, and from tomorrow we'll start with the import cycle. And I know कि as you want to go as soon as possible live by end of December, so we will try to fast these things up. Say
Inshallah.
so, inshallah. So let's continue forward. Okay. Before moving towards the receiving and the billing part, you just asked me yesterday about one thing, if there is any automation related with the quotation comparison. Sahi. So we did the manual analysis yesterday by seeing this report, by comparing these two suppliers, Abu Mehdi and Mahmood. But today I am going to show you how the system automatically compares these things. Please stop me if I'm going fast.
Okay.
Say, so I am just going to the search bar here, say, and entering quotation comparison sheet list. This one. Sahi, this is my quotation comparison sheet and I am going to create a new comparison between two different quotations. By clicking on add, here you are here on the new quotation comparison sheet. This is a form view. And here you have to select the reference of request for quotation, the RFQ. RFQ that you send to multiple suppliers. Sahi. So if you open it, so all of the submitted RFQs that you have sent to different suppliers will come up here. So you have to select that RFQ that you want to compare. For example, I have selected this RFQ 001 that we created yesterday. So the system automatically picks the data related to it. For example, you can see the required date here, that was 31st December 2024. And similarly, you have two different quotations, one for Abu Mehdi, one for Mahmood. Similarly, these are their transaction state and these are their grand total amount in the very last, 1125 dirhams and 950 dirhams. Say, these are basically your quotations. And if you go further below, you can see the quotation items, item wise. So here you can see for the Abu Mehdi, these were the quantities, these were the individual rate 1.25 and 5 dirhams, and this is the item name, tomatoes and banana. And similarly, you can see for the Mahmood, the quantities, rates, and the item name. So here, what you have to see, you cannot go further below. I mean, this is the total form, and the grand total amount is coming up as zero right now. What you have to do here, you have to save this thing. After saving this document, you have the button here of analyze. Say, by clicking upon analyze, you have two functionalities further. Either you can get the best rate from one supplier, you can get best rate from many suppliers. From one supplier means the system will identify who has provided with the lesser rates on the total amount. सही who has provided you with the lesser rates overall of this grand total amount, system will pick that supplier quotation. But if you go for the option of best rate from many supplier, system will check either one item could be lesser for the Abu Mehdi, but the other item could be lesser for the Mahmood. So system will pick those rates from different suppliers. सही?
Okay, when I find the best rate of the supplier,
Hmm.
and they we discussed about he give us a discount. Can I change the price in the same request?
Okay. Say for example, this is if I go for this option best rate from one supplier. So you see the system automatically picks that this table choose quotation and supply for item. System automatically picks Mahmood because they had provided you with the lesser rates,
Mm,
950 in the total and 1 and 4.5 dirhams as an individual item rate. Sahi, now I will submit this document by here the comparison has been made. System has selected supplier Mahmood with the lesser rates. Say the
mm,
comparison has been made automatically. I will go to the discount part, like you asked me about the discount.
mm,
Say
yeah,
this is just a comparison. This is just a comparison where system compares between two or multiple suppliers about their individual rates and about the total amount. Say so
mm,
this comparison has been made. Regarding the discount, we have to create the purchase order and provide the discount on the purchase order level. Sahi, this is just a comparison sheet, the quotation comparison between two or multiple suppliers, between two or multiple suppliers quotation. So now I am going to create a purchase order. You see purchase order has been created. You have to click here. Purchase order automatically system will create for the Mahmood that supplier and that we had just selected from the quotation comparison sheet. System
mm,
automatically creates the purchase order for that supplier. Sahi, so you are now asking me about the discount.
mm,
Okay, here we have these two items, tomatoes and bananas, with
mm.
total amount of 950 and one more thing. So VAT is basically applied as 5. Sahi. So this 47.5 dirhams are basically my taxes and 997.50 is my total amount after including the taxes. Now you are talking about the discount. Sahi, so if I go come up here and provide discount, for example. So for example, if I provide the discount on the grand total amount, for example, including the taxes, if I provide in discount in percentage, the additional discount and system automatically calculates the discount here, say in the amount. And if I go above, so here the system basically shows you uh, the net total
The
here.
net total, okay.
Say system deducted the total amount was 950, but we provided with some a discount, so now my net total amount is 855.
Okay, but if you change the price because the fruits and vegetables every day have a change prices. If I delay one day, maybe the fruit price will be go up or down.
Okay.
Now in the same Mahmoud, if I need to change the price, like tomato now 500, can I edit the price?
Okay, I have one question. Okay,
Mm,
for the same purchase order, you
mm,
want to update the price, say,
yeah,
or
mm,
for example, you buy something from Mahmood today, and after 4 days, after 1 week, you went back to the Mahmood, and he provide you with some other rates. So
yes.
then you have to create a new purchase order for him.
Mm.
So,
No, problem.
so
Okay.
do you create some other purchase order, a new purchase order, or you just work on the same purchase order?
Okay. No problem.
Say, for example, you purchase, you create this purchase order for memo today, say for this much amount, say for this
Mm.
much amount, which is 1 dirham for tomatoes and 4.5 dirhams for bananas, say. So this is just we created today, 17th December. But let's assume ke, as per your case, ke you went to Mahmood, sahi, and for example, let's suppose after some time, and your items were tomato. Okay, tomatoes and bananas. Say you have tomatoes and bananas. So now you are creating a new purchase order for the same supplier Mahmood, and the items are same like tomatoes and bananas. So you can basically provide whatever rate Mahmood is basically providing to you on that particular date. Say, for example, Mahmood provides you with tomatoes rate as 1.15, and for this bananas it could be 4.85 dirhams. So you can basically change the item rates or provide with the item rates whatever item rate your supplier is providing it to you on this item table, on this table. Like the items are there, quantities are there, and this rate field is editable. You can provide the same rate that the supplier has provided to you. This is an editable field.
Mm.
Is there any way to change the quotation price after we run the comparison?
No, okay, there are two things.
Mm.
Okay, whenever the document has been submitted, say whether it is material request, RFQ, supplier quotation, comparison sheet, purchase order. Once you have submitted this document, then you cannot make any changes in that particular
I
document.
know. After purchase request, no change. I know after submitting, but in the stage of quotation, when I want to compare suppliers together, if I notify the supplier, your price is too high. He give us another quotation price.
Mm-hmm.
Can I go to update it again before creating purchase request?
Mm.
Hmm? हाँ बोलो. For example, this was your supplier quotation for Mahmood. सही. So like you have said के for example this rate has been high, and you communicated back to the supplier के about these prices. Sahi. So there is one way. Okay, this document has been submitted, but you have to cancel it first. Sahi.
Okay.
Cancel means that this document will be disregarded. You have to cancel. Yeah, I mean, you just communicate with the client. Y-
Yes.
you just communicated with the client. Okay, I will create a new supplier quotation because the previous one has been linked with supplier comparison and with the purchase order. I am going to create a new supplier quotation. Mahmood, for example. For example, you have the supplier quotation for Mammoth with the total prices of 500 each, and the total amount is $1,000, 1,000 dirhams.
Mm.
Sahi. So, like you communicate with with your supplier, कि this prices has been high, and you have to make some. I mean, you just negotiate with the supplier
Yeah.
for the lesser prices. Sahi. So, for example, he has provided with you with the new prices of these items. So, what you have to do, you have to cancel up this document. Sahi. System will ask you about the permanently cancellation of this document. You cancel this document. After cancellation, you see this button as amend. Say
Mm.
amend means amendments or modifications or the update. So you click on update, oh sorry, amend. Now
Mm.
this document comes once again in the draft state. Draft means you can make up the changes. You can
Okay.
make up you can provide the new prices that supplier has quoted to you. Sahi. So another thing is like if you see this table, now this document is in draft state. You can provide the rates here. Like for example, they provided you with the new rates of for example 4.65 and 0.85, just assuming these prices. Say
Yes.
so you can provide these rates here. So also, if you see this field is coming up right now, amended from. Amended
Mm.
from means the system is picking up the previous supplier quotation reference, like the one which we cancelled earlier. Say
Yeah.
so you will have the complete link and the connection between the previous supplier quotation that you cancelled. So you know what were the previous prices quoted by the supplier, and by creating this new supplier quotation, you can basically provide with the new rates what
Mm.
supplier has quoted to you.
Very good.
And this
Very good.
document references is the link between both the supplier quotations.
Very good.
Right? And also, if you see in this, if you see, sorry, uh, if you see in this above document reference that this is coming up as 0003 1. Dash
Mm.
1 means that this has been basically modified document.
Yes.
You cancelled it first and now you have made the modifications, and you have made the modification one time, so it is coming up as dash 1. But if you cancel it again and make some further amendments or changes, then it will increase, it will be come as incremental dash 2. And if you see the original document here, it just ends at 003.
The original one, yeah.
Yep. So this is just an incremental modification, so you can know that this document has been modified. And this is the previous link, the or connection with the previous document that you just cancelled. Say so once again you will just submit this document. with this new supplier quotation that you have that the supplier has provided to you. And similarly, you will go to the quotation comparison sheet where you will do the comparison between both the quotations or multiple quotations, and after that automated comparison between one supplier or between multiple suppliers, you will create a system will pick up that best suitable supplier to you, and for this you can create the purchase order. See, this cancellation mechanism works same for all these documents. Like once you have the submitted document, on the submitted form you cannot change anything. Like if I click on these items, I will not be able to make up any changes. It will open this form for me regarding the complete details. But if you want to
Okay.
make any amendments or the changes, you have to do the cancellation first and create a new document by clicking on
Okay.
amend button.
Clear,
Sahi?
clear.
So I have one question here. Okay, do you do the receiving first or you do the payment, or is there any advance payment or invoicing first?
Sometime pay in advance, 50%.
Okay,
After receiving the complete. Sometimes we can pay 100% before receiving.
right. So right now we are just talking about the local buying, not considering the shipment charges and not considering the other additional charges. We are just
Yeah.
talking about the local buying that you purchase from from within the UAE from different suppliers.
Yeah.
Sahi. So for example, I will go back to this Mahmood purchase order that we created. It's sending us to receive and bill. Now,
Mm.
as per your case, for example, you do the 50% payment to the supplier, say in advance. So
Mm.
on this purchase order, if you see further below, you see ke these are your totals and net total and inverts. See, so you see this advance payment coming up as advance paid as 0 dirhams. Okay, we have not
Mm.
done any payment to the supplier. What you have to do, you have to come up here on the top. You see this create button. Sahi,
Mm.
create button. You have three options basically. One is for purchase receipt, which is your receiving document. Say for the items. Okay, you receive the items.
Mm.
One
Yes.
is for the purchase invoice that you create the invoice or the tax invoice for the supplier, and one is for the payment. So we are going to use this payment option here for the advance payment. Say this will refer me directly to the accounting module. Say on the accounting module, this basically payment is dealt basically by the accounting team or by the finance team. So for this advance payment part, I will just go directly to this create payment.
Okay.
You can stop me if you have any questions.
Okay.
Mhm.
Sure.
Okay, so after clicking on create payment, I am on this new payment form here, payment entry. See, this is payment entry form in the accounting module. You can see the navigation. Accounting is my main module, and now I am standing on the payment entry. And within the payment entry, I am creating a new document here. See, this is the system navigation here.
Okay.
Right now, I you see this payment type. Payment type is selected as pay because we are going to pay to the supplier in advance. Else, if you are receiving from the customer, it will come up automatically as receive. But right now, we are paying to the supplier. Your supplier is here as the party type. Party is basically your supplier name, Mahmood. And if you go further below, uh, here is the payment references. Like you are going to pay for this purchase order right now. Say this was my basically my total amount 898 dirhams. For example, say this is my total amount as 898 dirhams. R- And whatever amount you are going to pay, you have to basically put up here in the paid amount field. Say, for example, it do not calculates in percentage, but rather you can provide the amount directly. Say, for example, what could be?
300, 300, for example.
For example, you are going to pay the supplier 300 in the advance. Sahi, so you just put up 300 here, and one more thing is here, mode of payment. Mode of payment is basically uh, by which medium you are going to pay to the supplier. Either it
Right.
could be bank, either it could be cash, check, credit card, or if there is any other, so we can create a new mode of payment here. Say if
Mm.
there is anything else. But as for right now, I'm just going to pay it by cash. So I have selected this as cash, and this is my posting date, which is my payment date. And major part is I have put it the advance payment amount is here 300 dirhams. Say your finance person, your accounting person will just save this document and submit. By submitting the means कि advance payment will be made to the supplier. Sahi? So I've just made the advance payment to the supplier right now, and if I go back to the same purchase order, and I will see once again what is its status. I go back to that same purchase order, Sahi, and if you see further below, now the advance payment is coming up as 300 dirhams. Means on the purchase order level, the purchase person, the finance person, and the managers or the head office, even CEO and you guys will have the complete knowledge. What was my purchase order, what was my total amount, and how much has been paid in advance to the supplier. So you can basically know from by coming upon this purchase order document. Sahi. So from here you can see your advance payment. Now after that advance payment, uh, you do the receiving, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now for that thing you have to go for create purchase receipt. Purchase receipt is the document for the store person, for the stock person. Say for the warehouse person who is basically controlling the movement of the inventory of the fruits. So you have to go for the create purchase receipt document here. Now you see this is related with the store or the stock module. Its navigation is like stock. So this document basically is linked to the stock module. So this is the document where your store or store person or the warehouse person will work. Sahi. For example, if I go further below, you can see these are your items, tomatoes and bananas, and these are 500 or 100 quantities related
Mm.
to those items. Say and this is just total amount. I mean this amount is not related with the purchase with the store person. This is basically dealt by the purchase team or by the finance team. Say okay, one more thing which you have to define. You have to define in which warehouse you want to receive these items.
Okay.
Say for example, you either you want have you provided me with the warehouses names?
Uh, say RAK, right? Warehouse one. WH. RAK and WH one.
Just a second.
Okay.
Uh, uh,
Joel
uh,
Master. Joel Master بيطلع منه الاسم. عايز جول ماستر جول ماستر. خسرت اسمه المهارة يسموه زي كده.
okay, sorry.
Okay.
You have provided me with these five warehouses, which I
Mm.
have not created right now. This main KW warehouse 1, KW warehouse 2, Alavir Hong Kong and Alavir 2. So
Mm.
I have to create these warehouses here. See? So this
Okay.
is
No
my
problem. You can use the created one يعني.
Yep.
Just to test it.
I will just use my
Yeah,
current one.
finish it. Yeah.
Say so I was just confirming about the data. Say so the accepted warehouse means where I am going to receive those items, receive those tomatoes and bananas. Sahi.
Okay.
So I am going to receive this thing here by putting up my warehouse. Say, but if you want to receive the items separately, like one in one warehouse, other in other warehouse, then you have to click here on the edit button. See this edit button, this pencil,
Okay.
and
Mm.
come up further below, and you have to define the accepted warehouse here. Say, like you can basically receive bananas in one warehouse and tomatoes in other warehouse. So you have to provide with the accepted warehouse here individually on the item level by clicking this edit button and go into the that form.
Yes.
Okay, one more thing which is important. Okay, you control the fruits and vegetables by batches.
I
Is that
what?
That's it.
by batches?
Yeah, yeah.
By batches. So you create the batch while receiving the products, right?
Mm. By date.
By
By date. The date of the day.
All parts
uh,
come in the same weight, right? Or
Because we give them a batch code, yeah?
do you provide the batch code to the
no, 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 no.
Yes.
We don't have a manual batch code.
No, just I wanted we batch the batch. Inside the batch, I need the date of the day.
sahi?
Because maybe I will buy at the same day once, maybe at morning and night. Every batch will be very important.
Say for example this for this tomatoes, sahi. So you click on batch number here. As of right now there has been no batch created for this tomatoes. So I'm going to create a new batch here by clicking on
Let-
create new batch.
Let's make one now, because I want to look the batch looking like.
Say here you have to provide with the batch code in tomatoes for example. Say here you have to provide with the batch code like uh, tomato 001 and its expiry date because batch is basically controlled with the expiry because you have fruits okay, which you can use for some particular time. After that, that will be expired and it will be of no validity. Then you cannot use that fruits or vegetables. Say so you have to provide on this batch its batch ID, the batch code basically. Say and also the
Mm.
expiry date at what time period you can basically use that particular batch. Say
Mm.
so you have to
Batch idea I created manually, not by
it's
the system.
uh,
Batch ID.
I mean you have to tell me about this thing.
What?
You have to tell me about this thing. We can create the batch automatically and we can also do it manually.
I think it is better to create manual auto because we can't control it manually. Maybe we receive more batches in the same day, in different days, something. We don't know. So it is better when we I received any quota, a system create directly batch ID.
Sahi.
But the system will create the batch dependent on what? I want it to be dependent on the
Mm.
time and day. Is that possible?
Yeah, that is possible. That is possible.
Mm.
Say I will show you about that auto creation of this batches. But right now I've just shown you regarding the manual creation of the batch. Say I will show you that thing later regarding the auto creation of the batches at the time of receiving. Say that is remaining on my end. So if you are going to create it manually, then you have to just define the item, basically the expiry date and the batch code. Say this batch code as TO001. This is just what I put it right now, but we can control this by automatically.
Okay.
Yes.
While receiving the items, system creates auto batching, auto numbers there for the batches. Sahi. So this thing is up to me regarding the batch number. So if there is any other question regarding this receiving or the advance payment, you can ask apart from
Mm-hmm.
batch.
No.
Clear, clear, inshallah.
Sahi. So these are your items, quantities, batch number here, and this warehouse. These are basically all the details that your store person or the warehouse person will enter in this purchase receipt document, and he will submit this thing. Say by submitting means one more thing if you see this view button here,
Mm.
this view, you can go towards the stock ledger report. This is one of the report, stock ledger. This is a
Mm.
report where your basically managers or basically your head persons or from the management can see, or your store manager can see the basically the inventory of that particular fruits and vegetables. For example,
Mm.
right now we are just talking about these two items, tomatoes and bananas. Sahi. You see its in quantity is coming up in green color, means 500 has been coming in for the tomatoes and 100 has been coming up in received
Banana.
for the bananas. See, and its out quantities has been zero because we have not created any sales order, we have not created any delivery note for any customer. So it is coming up as
Mm.
zero. Balance
Mm.
is 500 and 100. And similarly, in what warehouse? This is our finished good because we received
Mm.
both the items in finished goods.
Okay.
And if you go further, further, so you can basically see their rates,
Mm.
the valuation rates, its total amount, and basically the document reference, okay, for which particular document you have done the receiving. Sahi. So these are some of the details for this thing related with the item report. This item report, this stock ledger report basically shows you the available quantities, the balance quantities, the receiving quantities, in quantities, out quantities, and from what particular warehouse these items are basically are available and from which warehouse these are moving in and out. Say this is the stock ledger report that basically shows you the complete movement of the stock or movement of the items. These are on the top you have different filters like from date to date. If you want to see if you just want to see for some particular time period, you can just pick and choose these dates. If you want to see for one particular warehouse, then you can basically select that filter here for the warehouse. If you want to see regarding the item, if you just want to see regarding the, for example, tomatoes only, you can just pick up tomatoes here. If you want to see for the item groups, like if you want to see the complete movement for the fruits, then all the fruits will be listed here. If you want to see for the vegetables, then you can select the vegetables. Sahi. Similarly, then here it is batch number. If you want to see regarding the batch number, okay, how the batches are moving, you can do it like this. This
Mm.
is this is the voucher number or the purchase. Say. So here you can basically select enter that same voucher number of, for example, of for the receiving document or for the delivery note, you can enter it as here. So system will figure out this, generate this report for you. So this was the stock ledger report, and we have done the receiving for this document. So now if I go back to the purchase order, you see these connections here. This connections means that this purchase receipt, my GRN is basically related with one of the purchase order. So this is the connection here. See, if I go back to the purchase order here, you see in this list view, okay, now its status is coming up as to bill. It is
Mm.
to receive is not coming up here. Why? Because we have received 100%. You see this green bar.
Mm.
This green bar is the basically progress of that receiving. See, this receiving has been done 100% and 0% has been billed. We have not created any tax invoice right now for this document.
Mm.
Say if I open this purchase order once again, if I open this purchase order once again, you see the advance payment was 300 dirhams. Now what we have to do, we have to create the invoice for this document and take the make out the remaining payment. Say I just click on create purchase invoice here.
New purchase invoice.
Is this clear to you or I am going fast?
No, Philip, what?
Okay. Say so I come up here on this purchase invoice document. Say this is once again related with the accounting team or the finance team. Say so right now while configuring your user IDs, while I will provide you with the user IDs,
Mm,
your accounting team will only work on this purchase invoice. They will not be able to see the receiving. Or similarly, your receiving team, like the store person, will not be able to see the purchase invoice because that is
mm,
related with the finance. And similarly, your purchase order team, the purchasing team will not be dealing with the other modules. See,
mm,
so each and everything is basically separately linked. They are integrated with each other, but are controlled differently. So I will, while moving forward, while we discuss, when we discuss about the access rights or the user controls, I will show you how each and everything is controlled from their user IDs. Say so. Coming back to this purchase invoice once again here, this is your invoice. This is your quantities here. This was your total amount, and this is your net total amount after applicable of the discount 855. Say, and then you had some taxes which makes up the total amount as 897.75 dirhams.
mm,
This is your purchase invoice coming up in draft state, which is not saved state. Right. If I go here in this payment section, you see this advance payment section. Now what I have to do, you have to click on get advances paid. If you click on get advances paid, then system will allocate that particular advance payment that you have done related with this purchase order. Say we have already paid 300 dirhams to the supplier. So as soon as I clicked on get advances paid, system brings up that advance payment of 300 dirhams to this purchase invoice.
mm,
Say if I open this by this edit button here, you see this is my payment entry, payment, and this is the payment reference that we have already done. And here you have this advance payment amount of 300 dirhams, and these are remarks which system has automatically put. Okay, this amount 300 dirhams has been done against this purchase order 004 and against to Mahmood, like Mahmood was my supplier. Say so you have the complete referencing on the payment. Okay, okay, what amount you have paid to the supplier. Say after saving this purchase invoice, if you see other details here like this due date is basically the time period at what you have this due for the payment due date, like till what time you can basically pay to the supplier. This is the due date as per whatever contract agreement you have with the supplier. You can provide the due date here. Sahi. Then these are some other details, and we have already allocated the advance payment of 300 to this invoice, so the 300 has been coming up here in the total advance field. And now my outstanding amount is only 598 dirhams. Say so this is your pending amount or due amount. So your accounting person will once again submit this purchase invoice and go for the remaining payment of 598 dirhams, which is your due amount. Say as soon as I submitted this purchase invoice, you see its status is coming up as partly paid here in this orange color right here.
mm,
Say means ke my total was 800 something, but we have already done 300 in the advance, so it is coming up as partly paid. To fulfill the remaining payment, to complete the remaining payment, you have to once again click on create payment here. It will go take you back to the payment form. which we had discussed earlier for the advance payment. This is the same form, the payment entry. Your payment type is selected as pay, and you have to select the mode of payment, how you are going to pay to the supplier. Sahi. So you selected the mode of payment here. It could be cash, bank, credit card, or any other else. And now you see my purchase invoice is coming up in the references here. Purchase invoice, my total amount was 898, but my outstanding is 598 because we have already done the advance payment. So my payment amount, what you are going to pay, will come up here, 598, and you just save and submit the document after verifying each and every detail. Say, as soon as you paid the complete payment, 598 dirhams, your purchase cycle has been completed for the local supplier. Say, starting from purchase request, we created the RFQ, then we then went for the supplier quotation and the comparison. Say, then we talked about the purchase order. After this purchase order, we discussed the goods receiving node or the purchase receipt. Sahi, purchase receipt. Purchase receipt was a document related with the stock module, the store person who basically selected the warehouse, in which warehouse he wants to receive bananas and tomatoes. Sahi. So we talked about this thing in the stock module, and then after that we did the advance payment. Advance payment, purchase invoice, and payment, the due payment or the remaining payment in the accounting module. So this is basically your complete local buying cycle. Right now we did not
Sorry,
discuss.
Abdullah, one
Yep.
question here. In payment, can I pay partial payment for remaining for outstanding amount out again or not?
You can do the partial payment once again here. Like you
Yeah.
have to define here in the whatever amount you are basically going to pay to the supplier, you have to enter up here 598, like here
Okay.
in this field. Say
Okay.
while the document is in the draft state, not in
Okay.
the submitted. Say
Yeah,
so you.
yeah, I know.
Yep. So you have to provide, like for example, you provide 200 dirhams here, partial payment. So you have to pick 200 here. Then the remaining amount, the outstanding will be system will put the outstanding amount here, whatever
Yeah.
due is remaining. See?
No.
So this is how you can basically do the partial payment.
Okay.
See, so this is your basically cycle for the local purchasing. If you have any question till here, you can ask.
No, it's good. Good, good.
Okay, we discussed about the automated quotation comparison, and now you are asking me for the automated batches. System
Mm-hmm.
should create automatically batches. Okay. Uh, are you available on the same time tomorrow?
Yes,
Inshallah.
you
Inshallah.
can make it before 9 a.m. Okay. If you want. I think you can't.
I will try. I will try. Okay, I will communicate in the group to you. Okay. I have one demand from you. As you know, you want to go live as soon as possible, say. So what you have to do, you have to basically, I will just provide you with the meeting recording after this meeting, for the video basically. So what you have to do, you have to log in into the ERP, sahi. You have to test as per whatever we discussed during the two meetings yesterday and today. You have to run your cases, like create 3 4 5 purchase orders. So basically, as soon as you start working, you may have some other questions as well, or maybe you need some other understanding, or maybe you have some concerns, or maybe you come up with some new point. Say, so just try start working on this system, so you just get familiar with it, and so basically it will be easy for both of us to conclude this thing as soon as possible.
Inshallah.
Say,
Inshallah.
inshallah. Okay, so Mr. Aladdin and Mr. Omar, inshallah, let's meet tomorrow. I will communicate the timing basically because
Inshallah.
in the morning mostly I am not available.
No problem.
And
The same
I
time it's good.
Yep. Thank you. So inshallah, let's meet tomorrow.
Okay,
Inshallah.
thank you.
Assalamu
Right.
alaikum
Salam alaikum.
warahmatullah.